everyone at home give a sultry hip roll with turned in toes for Shannon Lewis.
Yes. Did I time it right?
Couldn't have been better. Like I have to teach you timing. You are a person with timing.
Timing. Hi. Hi,
How are
Jim.
you? What's up?
You know, I got a lot of things going on. It's interesting, you know? Interesting.
You do. You do.
Yeah,
Well, you've always had a
we're
lot
in the
going on.
pandemic. We're in the crazy pandemic, and we're trying to stay creative. And
That's exactly right. And especially you coming from 10 Broadway shows?
Yeah. I mean, 10 Broadway shows, you know, now 3 national tours, a million encore series, 10,000 workshops that didn't make it to Broadway. I mean, you know, all the things. I think we should count the workshops too, because it feels like you're auditioning for a Broadway show. So.
No, absolutely. I'm sure it does. Name the Broadway shows in order. Can you do it?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, God. Okay. Crazy for You, Candide, Fosse, Contact. Ooh, what's that next one? Look of Love. The Look of Love.
Of course.
Not Speak of It. Curtains. Sweet Charity. People in the Picture. That was another interesting one.
Oh, right.
People in the Picture. I did an Andy Blankenbuehler Warsaw Ghetto Ballet in that show. In the top of 2, which was beautiful. And nobody saw it, but it was beautiful.
Doesn't that just hurt your heart?
Yeah, Andy's work was spectacular. What was after that? Oh, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, with Daniel Radcliffe, Nick Jonas, and Darren Criss. And my last Broadway outing was The Mystery of Edwin Drood.
Which I think I've seen all of those except the one with the Andy Blankenbuehler ballet.
Yeah,
I only know that.
Donna Murphy, who's genius.
How did I miss that? What was I so busy doing that I missed that?
It's okay.
No, but I feel bad. I feel like a bad host that I didn't see that.
No.
Now that you're spending so much time choreographing and teaching and directing and stuff, are you still wanting to perform? Is that bug still in you?
No, not at all.
Honestly.
Honestly not. I mean, listen, I lived the dream for a dancer in terms of, I never thought that I would, I never thought that I didn't know where I wanted to go, but I knew I wanted to be on Broadway, and I just wanted to get there. And then things just kept happening, and I just kept trying to stay current and work hard and learn and evolve. So I lived my dream. But I was always choreographing. I was always directing. I was always creating things. And I was very good for a long time at being someone else's muse, but you have to kind of turn off your own creativity faucet to really do that well. I think at least I did. And it started becoming more and more that I had a voice and I wanted to say something. And I was getting jealous of the people at the front of the room, having their conversations. And I love working like in the pre-pro room, and I love getting in a script early and being on the ground floor. And it's been a wonderful chapter now for me to be able to do that and really get to work with the best of the best on that end of it.
I mean, honestly, I was reading what you've been doing over the years. It's just extraordinary. Okay, but let's go back. Your performance in Fosse was life-changing, not only for you, but for us.
Oh my God, look at that lady.
But okay, look at her in the middle. What? I like to think you were just holding that there.
I am actually holding my leg. If you can see my top arm there, it's sneaking around and holding. But I could have held it there. I just didn't.
I just didn't. I would just rather die.
Yeah.
Now, you've become one of the master educators on the topic of Bob Fosse and Gwen Verdon, reconstructing these pieces, passing on your knowledge of their incredible work. So I talked to our mutual friend, Jason Wise.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a dancer, teacher, historian in his own right.
Right.
And I said, how do I talk to her and not sound like an idiot? So he suggested I ask you about the creation of Fosse on Broadway. How many numbers ended up on the cutting room floor?
Oh my God.
Yeah, Beat Me
Um,
Daddy Ate to the Bar, he
Beat Me
suggested.
Daddy. You know, we used to say every time a number would get cut from Fosse, and this was years of workshops, years of pre-pro, years and years, we would say, we're putting it in Fosse 2. There's going to be a Fosse 2. Because there was too many things. There's too many things. And I mean, okay, there was a ballet from like the show The Conquering Hero, which would like died out of town. It was like this famous flop. And there was a whole anti-war ballet where, you know, mothers were crying over their sons, and it was this weird piece, and we had it in the show for a while, and it was really weird. And then things, you know, bigger numbers that were Gwen numbers, like famous Gwen things, like Irby Fitch's Twist from,
Oh God,
what is that show from? Redhead, maybe? Am I wrong? Something. New Girl in Town, maybe. New Girl in Town.
oh okay.
She watching Gwen Verdon teach that to like Marianne Lamb, and then having it be cut. Like, how can you watch that stuff be cut? So there were just so many great things that didn't quite fit in terms of the vaudeville-esque feel that they wanted for Fosse, right?
Right.
And the process, I will tell you, was, you know, there were times when Gwen Verdon, you know, chose me to do I Gotcha and to learn that number. And it was back in the day when there was no internet, so it was all VHS video cassette. So Liza with a Z was not available to watch ever. I'd never seen it. I didn't know about it. They rolled in an old TV with a VCR, and they played me Liza with a Z one time.
But that really fuzzy version,
fuzzy,
oh, it was terrible. Yeah.
There's like a counter at the bottom because it was found film, and they kind of put it together. And she said, oh, okay, you're going to watch it once, and then you're never going to watch it again, just once. And I was like, okay. And I like glued my eyes to the screen. And then she said, okay, now we're going to make it yours. And then I worked with Gwen Verdon for 3 years, making it mine by myself in a room. And Chet Walker, obviously, I must give him a lot of props. Chet Walker was a huge part of my journey. I wouldn't have done it without him and his guidance. Anne Rankin came into the fold. People like Catherine Doby came into the fold. We had lots of, Graciela Danielle would drop by at 890 Broadway, and she would go, that's right, and that's not right, and keep working, and I'll see you later. You know, I mean, it was amazing. And, you know, I was just a sponge, and I was probably about 20 when I started working on all of that stuff. And I just was like trying to like sponge it up and trying to evolve.
Absolutely.
Every day. So yeah, it was.
And evidently you did a good job, because now you're passing that knowledge on to everybody that you come in contact with. And how thrilling is that?
It's my responsibility to do that. I have tried to keep ties with Nicole Fosse and the Verdon Fosse legacy. I feel it's really important to pass it on so the style doesn't die. I mean, every generation evolves, dancers evolves, and I think Nicole's really trying to find the balance between keeping the past, the work, you know, from the past really real and really authentic, and also allowing dancers today to make it their own, like Gwen did for me. So
yeah, well, I feel like that's what they would want, is for it to live, to you keep breathing and keep. I don't think they'd want it to stay stayed. You know, could it get musty? I don't know. I can't imagine that sexy, incredible stuff getting musty, but.
Yeah,
you know,
it's hard because Bob Fosse's not here to ask, and Gwen Verdon's not here to ask. So we're just assuming what they might want, which is I think the hardest part. But yes, anything.
But they were always looking forward.
They were, and they were always, when they had someone new come in to star, or someone taking over a solo, they would re-choreograph, they would rethink, they would change the key, they would, you know, same thing. So I don't think it takes away from the work, but I think I've made a very big effort to try to keep that moving forward, and I make a very big effort to make sure that my own work is my own work, so that a lot of people say, oh, do you just do like Fosse choreography? And no, not at all. It looks completely it looks like
derby and white gloves.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, not a white glove to be found.
Not a white, nary a teacup finger. Yeah.
Okay, you've been working with great people. You've been working with Stephen Schwartz lately. What's that?
Stephen Schwartz. Look at him. Look at him.
I know, it's a great shot. It looks like you're
that.
building a house together. I don't know what's happening there.
We have an announcement. It's very big news.
Starting a lovely family.
Listen, I would if he would have me. I love that man. I also love working with his son Scott Schwartz up at Bay Street. He and I have done projects together as director choreographer, and I love him. And that whole family is just so freaking talented. Steven Schwartz is like one of the greatest supporters of the next generation of talent, and he loves choreographers, writers, and he loves being in the room, and he loves to watch the process. And he'll just give you one little thing. He respects the process, but he'll give you one little thing and everything clicks. You know, it's just, I've so enjoyed him. He's been a huge, important person for me. I really, really enjoy him a lot.
I mean, and then there's the Bustle Fluffer. Now this thing this killed me when it came out. Explain.
Well, gosh. Andy Carl, really, it's Andy Carl, really. Let's give all the props to Andy Carl. He was sitting around in Drood rehearsal, and we had to rehearse in our bustles, right? Because bustles are like, they're difficult.
This is Edwin Drood on Broadway.
Drood, yeah, sorry.
People, yeah.
Mystery of Edwin Drood, Roundabout Theater. We're in rehearsal. We have to wear these bustles and get used to them and deal with them. So the girls were always walking around in our bustles with these big skirts on. And he was like, damn, look at that, look at that. What you got under there? Like being in it. We're just sitting around the green room. And so he started, because he had time on his hands, creating a rap song or a song based on this. And he was like, wouldn't it be funny if we did this at Victorian? And then it sort of became a thing. And he came to me and he was like, do you want to choreograph like this thing I want to do? And Roundabout's behind it. And because also, how do you really promote that show, The Mystery of Edwin Drood? Because there's no ending. You don't know what the ending is going to be. It's different every night.
Right. And the audience votes on the ending.
And they actually did, for real, choose the person that was going to be the murderer that night or the lovers that night. And we really did tally the votes and then run out on stage, and we found out then. And it's insane to rehearse. We all were so stressed out about it.
Can't imagine.
But it was really fun. But you can't, how do you sell that show? Like, it's really complicated. And I think Roundabout was kind of like, hey, like, if you guys think you could make something, we'll throw some money in, and Broadway.com will help, and we'll film it, and Shannon will choreograph it, and Andy will do it. And the whole cast was like, sure. So we got Cheetah Rivera like twerking, and I mean, this is before, it was crazy. It was
hello. Look at Cheetah.
She is such a trooper. I mean, my God, what fun did we have? It was amazing.
Nobody makes me happier than Cheetah. But that picture, she looks like she is literally having the time of her life.
We really were like, I think we all couldn't believe that we were doing that. Like, we were like, really? Like this thing that started in the green room. But that's what we all love, right? When you're doing a show, it's the backstage.
Yes, of course. It's the hang. It's the hang. I love the lyric. You like the sway in my back, but it's just scoliosis. That's a beautiful lyric.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy Carl. You even choreographed your dear husband, Broadway superstar Mark Kudish.
I did. Who he sends so much love to you, by the way. He loves you.
I love him. I feel like I've known him a really long time.
He's been around a long time.
He's the best. Well,
I've
been around longer.
We've both been around a long time. We were saying that the other day. We were like, wow.
We're not new.
Not new.
What's it like choreographing your husband?
Amazing. He's like one of the most talented people I've ever met in my entire life, and he can do anything, as you can see from this picture. He can do a tango with a man.
That's Todd. He's my graphic artist.
Who is that?
Todd Johnson.
Oh, really?
Isn't it Todd?
Wait,
I think it is.
That person in that picture is Max. Oh God, I'm forgetting his last name. I'm sorry, Max.
Oh.
Max. He's British.
Oh, then never mind. But I think Todd Johnson was in that.
I have worked with, though. Why do I know that name? I do know him.
He's a great singer, really great singer. But he's
definitely
everything you see that we do. He's done the graphics for him. He's so talented.
He's fantastic. No, I do know him. No, that was really fun. That's a musicalized version of The Shining called Red Rum.
I mean,
no, it was Mark's amazing.
It writes itself.
Mark's amazing. We often we work together as director choreographer. We work together in this other way too, and we're not married for that time. We're just two creative people working. And it tends to go really well when that happens.
Isn't
Except
that
for every now
great?
and then I say honey and I go, wait, no, Mark.
Yeah, not
You
honey.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's
Right.
great. I mean, Mark's amazing. And what he brings to the table is like, he has so many good ideas and he's willing to sort of try anything and then like help shape it. And he's the guy that you want in the room on the ground floor. You want his ideas, you want all of the stuff he brings. So it's a dream working with him. I love working with him.
Tell him I love him and I send my love. Okay, here's what I want to ask.
Yeah.
Back in the day, choreographers were kind of known or had they were kind of known to being mean and cranky and, can we say, abusive?
Yes.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing of the past? I like to think. I know you are not. You must bring so much joy.
It's a thing of the past. I have. Here's the thing about me. I was lucky enough. I arrived in New York City in 1994 for my first Broadway show, and I was still in my teens when I got Crazy for You. Wow. The great Susan Stroman hired me for that show, and that was still kind of the old school. You know, I walked into that dressing room, and those chorus girls were like, here's the ropes, kid, you know, stay on your side of the thing. Don't touch my shit. And, you know,
right.
Excuse me, stuff.
Okay.
You know, I kind of went through this transition from the old school to the new way, right? In the time that I've been in New York and been doing theater and television film. And so I've experienced both. And I can say that the old school way of intimidation and fear and screaming at people and belittling them and building them down to bring them up does not work for me at all, personally. And
I
also,
can't imagine you caring for that.
It shuts me down. It always shut me down. It made me feel like I couldn't trust the room, and I didn't do very good work when I was in those situations. And I think I did eventually, but I would be shut down, and I would have to go and find my own way through the process. And I think that I like to, for myself now, when I'm in a room with really talented people, set the bar really high and then let them rise to it, right? Let them find their way to their best and provide them guidance there and give them a room that they can feel good in and leave them alone for a while and then just give them a little, hey, what about this? And I'm seeing that. And what about this? This isn't clear. Those are the things I think I like to focus on. I have definitely worked with people who don't do that. And I think they're still around. But I think that dancers, for one, and especially triple threat people, they don't really accept that anymore.
That's what I'm so happy about. I'm happy about that.
Me too. And I think it's also, I like talking about it and telling people that you shouldn't accept it anymore.
That's exactly right.
You know,
and that's why I brought it up, because I did one Broadway show, and won't mention names, but we were treated terribly at points. And it was like, this doesn't have to be like this. And I blamed us, really, for putting up with it.
Right.
I blame us now. Now that I look back, it's like, you know, it's show business. It's joy.
That's right.
This should be the greatest time ever, along with the incredibly hard work, obviously.
Right. And I always think when you get really, really super, super talented people in a room that have a strong point of view, those are the rooms you want to be in. But there's always going to be a little bit of friction, right?
Well, point of view is one thing.
Yeah, it's like a
just abusive is weird. Okay. That's me. We're going to play a clip.
Okay.
Tell me what this clip is.
I believe this is a class combination that I choreographed. And I am basically in rooms right now teaching at Steps and Broadway Dance Center live stream. And I'm inviting my favorite dancers in the room with me, just a couple. We're in mask, we're live streaming, we're continuing to dance. And I'm creating my own choreography. And then I'm getting to teach it to the dancers of today. And they're all getting to know me, which has been a silver lining. So I've been really challenging myself to come up with like new choreography every week for 7 months, which is not easy to do, and get the best dancers I know. And this one I believe is called Ain't It a Sin, which is this really cool kind of rock, funk, soul song that I love. I've never really heard it before. And then Pandora played it one day and my brain exploded. And I like kind of like challenging the boundary of what theater can be, because I'm a theater dance person, I guess, theater dance. But a lot of dancers say I'm very commercial. I can be more contemporary. I'm not just sort of a song and dance choreographer. So this is a good representation of that. It's got tons of technique coming from the ballet side, and then oozing with style, personality, and a point of view. That's really, really important, so that you could easily shove that right on a stage, and it would be at home on Broadway, or it'd be at home in TV film, or So You Think You Can Dance, or any of those things. So, and I should mention that the dancers' names are Jordan Betcher and Kathleen Latourie. They're both Rockettes, and they can do anything. And I met Kathleen at Pace Commercial Dance. I'm an adjunct professor down there. They're doing incredible things. And Jordan came on my radar, and I was just blown away by both of them. So
I can't wait to see this perfect little chunk of dance and choreography.
Yay.
Run it, Ruby.
I try to be a righteous man. Talk to the Lord most every day. Sometimes this world can do me wrong. I keep to the path, won't go astray. When I start falling over, my feeling catch a flame. I be a man, say a man, but you won't be the same. If you ain't gonna do me right, I might just do you in. Ain't it a sin? Ain't it a sin?
I am so happy watching that.
First
of all, they're gorgeous.
They're crazy. It's a class video. They just did a class with me. We did that in 5 minutes. I mean, amazing.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, we do class. The videographer, who I must mention, Pierre Murray, unbelievable. You need an educated eye to film dance, right? You can't just set up a camera and expect it to have the same vibrancy and all of that stuff. So he's a huge part of my team as well during this time. He's amazing. And, follow me on Instagram, because I put all my videos up every week, and there's tons of them up there. And everybody, I hope you just like and share and make these.
Oh, they're so good. And you pick great music.
Thank you. I always said, I think I became a dancer because I just love the music so much.
Yeah, I get it. I love that you were here, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for having me.
Come back and hang with us when something's going on, and we'll do it again.
Yay. Love it.
Love it.
Thank you so much,
Shannon Lewis.
You so much.
Love you. Love to Mark.
Yes.